Hi everyone, my name is Summer Emmer, and today I'm going to be starting with a quick comparison between me and my younger sister, Maddie. She's 7 years old, for context. So when I was younger, when I was her age, I would spend my days mostly outside, just playing outside, or riding my bike, or making up my own games if I was really that bored, or I would even collect bugs or rocks. I also really enjoyed playing with looms, like the little loom bracelets or beads or Legos. And usually I would beg for things like spending extra time outside or for toys, things like that. But I've noticed very differently with her because she begs for things like the remote control to her TV or an iPad or YouTube. Yeah, it's insane. Anyways, it's like the TV and the iPad have just become her entire world. And I know that this isn't just a Maddie thing because I know that we're in the generation of iPad kids. So, yeah. So kids nowadays are just growing up on screens and they're practically being raised by them. And don't get me wrong, because I know that tech is not all bad. I know that tech could be educational, it could be fun, and it could even give parents a break, especially when they need it. But when kids spend too much time on screens, it starts to cost them mentally, physically, and socially. So the good news is that we can fix this. We can set boundaries, we can offer better alternatives, and just help our kids to reconnect with the real world, with real life. And so let's just talk about the problem, the solution, and the benefits of reducing screen time for our future generation, next generation. So excessive screen time is damaging children's development. Mentally and emotionally, the effects are super alarming. So studies show a link between screen time and increased anxiety, depression, and the ability to focus. So their attention, their attention issues, which we see a lot in younger kids, especially my little sister. Fast-paced, highly stimulating content, it just rewires a child's brain completely. It overwhelms their ability to focus, to regulate their own emotions, and to manage their boredom. Physically, kids are also suffering. So instead of climbing, running, and just playing outside, being a normal kid, they're inside, just glued to a screen. This leads to them having less exercise and weaker muscles, and it could also lead to health issues in the future. And let's not forget about sleep, because sleep is very important for children, especially if you have a younger sibling or a child yourself. You know that kids need sleep, otherwise they wake up really mad. So blue light from screens actually interferes with the melatonin production in a child. So it causes them to have poor quality sleep, and they can wake up and you're left with a cranky and exhausted child, which we all know is not fun. Socially, excessive screen time cuts off real interaction. Kids are losing out on the basics like reading body language or confronting people face to face, with their own problems. They're also losing out on having real conversations. So these are skills that no app or any kind of game can teach your kids. They need to learn these skills by themselves, and they need to be practicing them now in order to be better in the future. So how do we change this? How do we fix it? First, we're going to set boundaries. So the American Academy of Pediatrics recommends no more than 1 to 2 hours of recreational screen time per day. And that's a great place to start. That's a great rule to start with. If you just tell your kids, hey, 1 to 2 hours a day, TV, iPad, whatever, that's it. Another thing you could do is creating screen-free zones. So you can do this in your dining room or in the child's bedroom, and this could lead to them just being able to have real conversations and being able to have a better quality sleep. Because if they don't have a phone or anything at the dining table, they can easily just talk to everyone else around them and learn those skills. Or when they're sleeping, they don't have a screen in front of them before they go to sleep, they're going to have better quality sleep. So second, we're going to offer alternatives. So this means encouraging outdoor playing. or reading books with your child. You know, you can also break out the board games. I don't think my little sister has ever played a board game, so I should probably do that with her. But you could also let your kids get messy, which I know parents are a little iffy on that one because they're probably going to be the ones that have to clean it up. So letting your kids get messy with things like arts and crafts. But that kind of brings me to my next point, because most importantly, you should try to involve your kids in everyday life, like involving them in cooking, involving them in cleaning or gardening, things like that. And that may slow you down a little bit, but you know, like these activities, they teach responsibility to your kids and they build connection. They offer real world engagement for your child. So if your child is getting messy with arts and crafts, you can teach them to clean it up, and eventually they're going to learn that they need to clean that up, and that builds skill. So when kids spend less time on screens, they thrive. So mentally, they become more focused, they become emotionally stable and creative. Instead of being constantly entertained, they're going to start exploring their own curiosity. So physically, they're going to sleep better, they're going to move more, they're going to grow stronger because they're not on a screen. Their eyes and their posture are also going to improve. And all of this is going to be better for their health in the future. So socially, they're going to form deeper bonds with their family and their friends. They're going to learn to listen. They're going to learn to talk and to care. So these aren't just nice skills that they're going to learn. These are essential for their future, for their success they're going to have in their future. So here's the key takeaway. Too much screen time is hurting our kids. But with boundaries and better alternatives, we can turn this around. We can raise children who are healthier, who are happier, and who are more connected into the real world. Kids who play and explore without needing some type of screen in front of them are going to be way better off than a child who is just stuck inside on their screen all day. So because this new generation, they deserve more than just a distraction, more than just a screen as a distraction. So they deserve a childhood that's full of imagination, discovery, and real world interaction. So let's try to give that to them. Thank you guys for listening.